everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Jayson.
And we are father
and son.
And today's review was chosen by Jayson. He just insisted that we talk about this movie, and I think Jayson, I say this a lot, but I think Jayson really is going to be doing the majority of the talking today. He's basically just going to explain this movie to me, I think. Jayson, what are we talking about this time?
We're going to be talking about Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat? Oh, just that machine behind us?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, the movie Mortal Kombat.
I'm sure you'll talk about the games a little bit.
Yeah.
As we get into this, right?
Well, it's basically the story of the games is basically the story of the movie, so.
Sort of, kind of. There's elements I know that the movie introduces that then the games pick up on after that.
Yeah.
Right? Like the whole outer world thing doesn't exist in that first game, but then they introduce it later and they kind of run with it.
Oh.
And I know that movie introduces some characters that are in the games later. Like Katana's not in the first game, but she's in the second.
Yeah, but they don't. But this game, I don't even know like when Mortal Kombat came out. Well, 1991. So, some of the video games that had like Katana or whatever had already come out.
They'd come out by the time the movie came out. But the movie is introducing stuff as it's being made that nobody's seen yet. Oh. So by the time the movie comes out, people have played it in the games, but they were working kind of simultaneously, and I think some stuff from the movie ends up in the games. But anyway, I don't know a lot about this. That's one of the things that I know.
Because I don't know a lot about the story of the games that much. I just know, now I know like the story of the movies. And I don't know, like, the development behind everything. And
yeah, with the games, you just know characters and stuff.
Yeah.
So, why are we talking about this today?
Because I've been on a Mortal Kombat kick lately, because we just bought that machine, and I just wanted to see if the movie was good or not, because it had been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, we showed it to you a couple years ago when Eric wanted to watch it. And Eric knows a lot about this movie, and I wish he was here to talk about it with us, but because he knows a lot about the development and the ins and outs of the background and stuff, and I know a little bit about that. I know that Liu Kang, originally they wanted Brandon Lee for, but then he died making The Crow, and I know that there had been talk about Jean-Claude Van Damme for Johnny Cage, and also you'd think they'd consider going to Nicolas Cage for Johnny Cage, but apparently not. But even Tom Cruise they wanted for Johnny Cage, and you hear about all these like major actors that were considered for roles, and it ends up being a bunch of nobodies. Like very few, like the guy who plays Raiden I've seen in things. He was in Highlander, but like most everybody are people that you haven't really seen in my. And then like. The main bad guy I've seen in a lot of stuff too. What is his name? Shang Tsung. I will ask him that 5 times during this discussion because I don't remember. I can never remember his name. I'm always like Sun Tzu, Kung Pao, Chicken. I can never remember what that guy's name. What is it? Shang
Tsung.
I still. You just told it. You just told me 15 seconds ago. I still can't remember it.
Kung Pao Chicken is the brother of Liu Kang.
So, Jayson and I play a lot of fighting games together. Mm-hmm. Our favorite games are Virtua Fighter, which I grew up on and we play all the time. And we like to play Marvel Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom, some of the Capcom fighters. It's funny because we've got Street Fighter over here. We're not big Street Fighter fans. I found that machine really cheap, so I got it. And we've played it some, but like we really like Capcom fighters, but we're not big Street Fighter people. So
yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. And then we've been lately getting into Mortal Kombat. And why did you start getting so heavy into Mortal Kombat? Like, what are you digging about it so much?
I think it's just the gameplay, and also I'm good at it. It's a fighting game. I'm good at it.
Yeah, because usually I beat Jayson at fighting games. We're at a point right now with Mortal Kombat where I'm winning maybe 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6. Like,
yeah,
Jayson is killing me on Mortal Kombat.
I'm not very good at the first game. I'm good at the second and third ones, though.
But especially 3.
Especially 3.
Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, you're just all about.
Yeah, and I know 2 of the 3 codes to unlock characters.
I used to feel like Mortal Kombat was way too kind of sluggish and stiff.
But that's
and that first game is kind of like that, but as I'm playing it more and adjusting to it, I'm realizing that the rhythm and the pacing of it is just different from other fighting games, which I think is what I'm starting to really appreciate about it.
Yeah, because it's different from other fighting games. And playing, like, Mortal Kombat 1 or 2, and then playing, like, Ultimate Combat 3, or, like, Virtua Fighter or something, it would be probably really weird. And we've played Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and then Mortal Kombat 2, and they're very different.
Well, it's funny you say that because Virtua Fighter is all about like realistic martial arts and like mixing martial arts, and so it's slower than something like Street Fighter or World Heroes or Fatal Fury. And of course, it's also a 3D fighter, so it's a little bit weird to even compare it to those things. But Mortal Kombat is a lot more about trading blows.
Yeah.
And also, like some of those Capcom fighters, you still have projectile attacks and things. You still have some range attacks. Your Shoryukens. But you have, but with Mortal Kombat, it's not the dance that some of those games are as much as, like, I try to hit you, you try to hit me, I try to hit you. You know what I mean?
Or
like,
I hit you a bunch of times and then
I
you
get
try
out of the
to
way.
kick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, so let's talk about this movie a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Good things and bad things.
So,
let's get into it.
Should we just get into it?
Sure, yeah.
So I like the theme song, and I like,
Oh yeah, the soundtrack's one of the best things about Mortal Kombat.
And not just the theme song, it's just like the soundtrack of it is pretty good. And I like that they remixed the original theme from the original game, and they made it all like techno, whatever.
I think a disco Mortal Kombat would be amazing, though.
Yeah. And I love that he just yells everybody's names, and then he goes, Mortal Kombat!
That really sets the tone for this movie right away.
Yeah.
Because right out the gate, as the credits at the beginning are rolling, you're getting Mortal Kombat, dun 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 dun. And so immediately the game is the movie is screaming, this is going to be fighting games translated into movie form.
Yeah.
And it absolutely is that. It's not it's not a story that's loosely, I mean, like, story-wise it makes up its own stuff, but it doesn't watch like it's its own thing that's loosely based on fighting games, where it's trying to figure out how to turn that into a real narrative. Like both to its credit and to its detriment, I think, it's kind of just a fighting game on screen, right? It's like, it's fight after fight after fight after fight.
Yeah, and that's what the third act of the movie is. It's just fighting.
Even before that.
Yeah, it's just fighting.
There's a whole lot of, I lost track of the number of rounds we watched. I kind of felt like I was seeing like cutscenes, and then the gameplay where I wasn't playing it.
Yeah.
It feels like I was watching someone playing something on story mode.
Or like the demo of like a fighting game.
Yeah. Really let the computer players just fight each other.
Yeah. Which that is really annoying on the Street Fighter 2 machine. Anyway,
But real quick to your point with the music, I just thought it was important to mention that the music is one of the things that most makes it feel really authentic to the games. And I think one of the reasons people liked this movie so much, because it was really well liked by fans, is because it had that tone, and it wasn't afraid of being so bombastic and over the top and just insane. Because it is just insane.
Yeah, from the beginning, it is insane. You get, like, the fire with, like, the credits, and then you get already a battle scene, and then you get, you will be next. And it's just already over the top, and, yeah, crazy.
It just screams, don't take us too seriously. Which is great. Yeah. Because, like, it feels like the folks making this really liked the material they were working on, and they wanted to really translate that. Yeah. So there's no sense of pretension or self-seriousness. Like, it's Mortal Kombat. You're either gonna like that or you're not. And I mean, it's ridiculous, and a lot of it is super cartoony, and it gets really stupid, but in a really fun way.
Yeah.
It's wonderful escapist entertainment, I think.
So my favorite part of the movie was probably the Scorpion fighting scene. Just because Scorpion is my favorite character in the games, and they bring everything to the games. They bring like get over here, and they do the fatality that he does.
Mm-hmm. He's got the chain thing where he brings you to him.
Yeah.
He's got the skull face.
Yeah.
The way he dies is pretty fun.
Yeah, it's great, and it's like not a lot of the movies like that, where it takes a long time to make a scene, to do that scene, or it's just like the games a lot.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a lot of those fights are kind of cherry picking stuff from the games and doing a lot of fan service, and this is kind of like fan service the movie. But like I don't know what else you do with this to make it feel like that material. So I mean, like, I do find myself checking my watch a little bit where I'm like, okay, I'm watching the 95th fight now, and it's, you know, you look at a plot synopsis and there's all these things going on and a lot of stuff that I'm not picking up on, because at the end of the day, how much of it really matters? Like, how much of it is really just your basic setup of if this. If the outer realm or whatever, outer world, whatever, wins one more tournament in a row, then they get to come into the Earth realm and take over. I don't know who set this up. I don't know why.
And I don't know.
Why are those the rules, Jayson?
Yeah, like that was what I was asking myself. Why do they need to do 10 fights in order to make the outworld? Why isn't it like 5? Why do they need to fight in the Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, apparently the Mortal Kombat tournament was made so that the outworld couldn't come into the real world. But like,
so some sort of like compromise that was set up, sort of like mystical compromise, where it's like, okay, you guys can't come in, but we're gonna try to make it impossible for you. We're like, it's, you know, trying to give you hope or something, right? We're like, if you win 10 in a row, then you can come in.
Yeah. And I mean, sure, they're great fighters. Also, I don't get how they're supposed to be all great fighters, and Sub-Zero is supposed to be a great fighter, and we like see him kill a guy on top of a table, and then he's really easy to beat.
You think it's too easy to beat?
Yeah. Like, Scorpion wasn't too easy.
I was going to say, Scorpion, who was it that killed Scorpion? Was it Johnny Cage?
It was Johnny Cage.
In that, like kind of jungle, cagey area.
Yeah.
That set is awesome, by the way. But no, you're right. Like, that fight felt hard. And, well, see, Sub-Zero, who was it that beat him? Was it Sonya? Wasn't it one of the girls that beat Sub-Zero? Because wasn't there that, or was it Katana? No, I'm pretty sure it was Sonya, right? No?
Was it Liu Kang? Maybe?
But I thought...
I don't know. I don't remember.
But I thought Sub-Zero got beaten because she remembered someone telling her, use the element of life.
Oh, yeah.
And that was water, and then
that was not a girl.
Oh, was it?
Katana told
Liu Kang?
Liu Kang.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was one of the girls that did it.
No, it wasn't. It was Liu Kang.
Runs together. I've probably seen this movie 3 or 4 times, and it never sticks with me. Like, it all jumbles together to me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I just watched somebody play a fighting game a bunch of times. Like.
Yeah.
But it's also what I like about it. I mean, it's a lot of fun while I'm watching it. It just never sticks with me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, okay, so how do you feel about the way Sub-Zero and Scorpion are handled in this? And also Reptile, we should talk about that, because those 3 have the same costume, but with different colors. We're always making fun of that in the games, right?
Yeah, and that's actually how they make new characters. That's, like, their, like, answer in the games.
Oh, there's a story thing for this?
No, that's just like in development. That's how they make new characters. Is they take different skins from. That's how they.
Well, no, that's pretty clear. Yeah.
Yeah, but like course. That's.
They do them like
they
like
do
action
it
figure
on
molds.
purpose. But yeah. I thought Scorpion was, like, supposed to hate Sub-Zero in the games or something. I don't remember now. But I don't even know, like, what they are supposed to be. Are they supposed to be, like, monsters? Are they supposed to be, like... Because they're, like, under Shang Tsung's command.
Yeah, it seems like he mind controls them completely.
Yeah.
You know, they have those kind of like cataract eyes where they don't have pupils and they don't seem to be thinking for themselves, and they're not really characters in this.
Yeah.
And it's weird because they're the most popular characters in Mortal Kombat. They're like the characters you think of when you think of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And just because they're bad guys doesn't mean that they couldn't get some kind of characterization. I'm kind of curious. You probably won't be able to watch it because I'm sure it's even a lot more gruesome and violent than this. This is kind of a quaint, silly, you know, goofy '90s movie, and I don't feel too weird about you seeing this, even though it does get a little bit gory in places. But they just made a year or two ago, I think last year actually, an animated movie called Scorpion's Revenge. And it's rated R, and I'm sure it's too rough for you to see. I'll preview it and find out. But that, with Scorpion's name in the title, I'm going to assume he's actually a character in that. So I'm curious to see how that handles that character. Cause, yeah, in this they feel like automatons.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if you were kind of disappointed with that.
Yeah, at first I was just like, what? And then they die easily. And they're not main characters.
At least Sub-Zero does, yeah. But because I feel like the Scorpion fight is the best fight in the game, or in the movie.
That's my favorite part because he doesn't die easily.
Yeah.
And
the skeleton head thing is cool, and you know,
and he breathes all that fire like the fatality.
Yeah, it's all that great corny like '90s rage, like that early '90s kind of you know image, or not rage edge. So that, I don't know, that was fun. But yeah, one of the things I thought was a little bit strange was they're totally like monosyllabic, or they hardly say anything because they're mind controlled, and so it just feels like, for lack of a better way to put it, they're basically just robotic, right?
Yeah.
But in order to get in the big the big catchphrases and stuff you remember from the games, they've got Scorpion saying all the stuff he says in the games.
Yeah, like, and get down here, get over here.
It feels really out
Come here.
It feels really out of place.
Yeah. And Sub-Zero says nothing.
Yeah.
But, like, and are they supposed to be kind of the same thing? Or are they, like, different people? Like, a different, like, species from each other?
Yeah, they treat them like a pair.
Yeah.
That are being controlled, and you'd think that if what's his name? Shang Tsung. You'd think I'm never gonna get it. You'd think if Shang Tsung, because he's controlling them, right?
Yeah.
It's his guys.
It's clear he's controlling them because he says that.
Which is weird because he runs the competition, so it seems like he's got the whole deck stacked. Like, because he's calling the matches, except for the ones he's not. I'm not clear as to why he's not at every match.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe I just missed something.
Really, yeah.
But that was the thing I was wondering about. But anyway, so he's like supposed to be running the show, and he calls the matches, and then at the end of the movie, he just, in desperation, jumps in and does a match himself and fights.
Yeah.
Right? And I would think that would be against the rules if you're the guy like running the whole tournament. I wasn't real sure how all that worked, but I would think if that guy was going to have like this duo of fighters that he thinks are always going to win, that he would keep throwing in, that he'd have an ice guy and a fire guy. That they'd be like opposites. Not an ice guy and like an electro guy.
Kind of.
It's kind of.
He's not really electro. He's Scorpion.
Yeah, but doesn't he have electro powers? Doesn't he do some electricity stuff? Or no?
I think so.
I mean, I know Raiden does that, but
yeah, Raiden does that, and he does like the little scorpion.
Oh, that's true. He just has the scorpions things that kind of. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, I guess he doesn't have like an energy ball or anything, does he? I was thinking he had like an energy ball. I guess he doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so my point stands even better. You'd think you'd have like a fire guy and an ice guy, but instead you have an ice guy and a scorpion guy. And then you also have a lizard guy who's like your spy. He's like Soundwave in Terminator or something, or in Transformers or something.
Yeah.
That sometimes turns into a man in fights.
Yeah.
I spent the whole movie going, I wonder if he's gonna actually turn into a man. And
then he does. And that is probably my favorite costume in the whole movie.
Isn't it just the Scorpion and Sub-Zero costumes recovered, or am I remembering wrong?
No, because it's the Scorpion and Sub-Zero costumes recolored to green.
Yeah.
And then his mask is like a weird, it's like a gold mask with like the reptile face.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, well, and it's good when he's finally able to take human form, because when he's a CG creature, that does not do well.
Yeah. It looks okay, but what's weird is...
You are more forgiving than me, and we watched it on a projector screen. I'm really surprised you're saying that.
He looks... When he's like reptile mode, or whatever, he looks more like he's supposed to be like Chameleon or something.
Yeah.
Because Chameleon is in Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
Oh.
He's a secret character that turns into a bunch of different ninjas. And I don't know. He just kind of looks like that. Like maybe that's what like Chameleon was like going for.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I didn't know that. So does Reptile in the games ever turn into the lizard guy, or is he always a...
I don't know. I've never seen his like fatalities or brutalities or animalities or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and I understand that I'm only letting Jayson play Mortal Kombat up to a certain point, so the more modern games are just way too rough and gruesome.
I'm only doing like the first 3 games.
When you're a teenager, here in 3 or 4 years, then I'll let you play some of the more modern stuff, and we can play. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some new ones by then, but we can play Mortal Kombat 11
and Mortal Kombat the remake or whatever.
Yeah.
The reboot.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting a taste of modern Mortal Kombat because I let you play Injustice because it's not quite as rough.
Yeah, it has some blood.
There's still some blood and stuff, and there's some cracking of necks and backs and things. But with Mortal Kombat, the special moves and especially and some of the fatalities are just way too rough. There's like spines being ripped directly out of people and hearts and things.
And I mean,
it's a little much when you're 10.
And I mean, they do that in the original games, but it's way more rough in the newer games, probably.
Well, yeah, and a lot of that is just because of graphics, graphical capability back then. It just looks more cartoony when it's in a 2D 16-bit sprite.
Yeah.
So these kind of calls you gotta make, how when you're a parent, what lines do you cross, how far do you push things and that kind of thing. But Jayson seems to be doing fine with Mortal Kombat. I don't think it's giving you nightmares. I don't think you're going around wanting to punch people in the face. So
no.
At the moment that you see someone, I don't know why this would ever happen. At the moment that you see someone on the street uppercut someone really violently, and then you're standing in the background and you go, ha 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 ha, that's probably when I'm done letting you play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, or if you do the uppercut and say, "Get over here."
Get over here. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So let's see. So bad things. This is way too unintentionally funny for Mortal Kombat.
Before we get to bad things.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't have my favorite thing listed.
What?
My favorite thing is Shao. What's his face? What's his name?
The Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung. My favorite thing is that Shang Tsung does all the announcer catchphrases.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When he's sitting in the background watching, and then when you get to the end, he'll say things like "flawless victory," and it's the best fatality. It's so good. I love that they went that far.
Yeah.
Now I will complain that there's at least one place where it wasn't a flawless victory.
there was a lot of places where there were a few places where it was not a fatality.
Yeah, because the person didn't die.
It's
Is that
like
what you're
in the
saying?
game. Yeah, it's like in the games. If you just do an uppercut when it says finish him, and then they're like fatality.
You're like, no, it's not.
No.
I didn't have to put in a special code for the fatality.
Yeah.
But and I don't know. I just think it's really cool that they went as far as to having all that terminology there, and then it kind of means what it did in the games. They know that's what people are there for. It's just they were having so much fun with it.
Yeah.
But the thing about and for those lines to come out of a character's mouth, it's so much fun. But they clearly know what a flawless victory is, because the first time he says it, it was somebody that just got their butt handed to them and didn't get off one hit. And that, I mean, some fighting games call that perfect. There's different terms in different fighting games for what that is. What is it in Virtual Fighter? Now that we're in Mortal Kombat mode. I'm forgetting. But wait, is it excellent? I think it's excellent.
I think it's excellent. Got an E.
Yeah, but in this is flawless victory. Toward the end, there's a big moment where he goes flawless victory, and you're like, no, that guy got a bunch of hits off. Like,
it wasn't Shang Tsung though.
Oh, wasn't?
It was at the very end.
Yeah.
Where Liu Kang defeats someone, and he's like flawless victory, but.
But it wasn't a flawless victory?
Actually,
maybe
it was when he was defeating Shang Tsung, and he's
okay, you know what? That's okay, though, because he's making fun of Shang Tsung. He's like, screw you, dude, now I'm going to say your catchphrase. Even though you got hits off, that's okay.
Yeah.
But isn't there at least one place where Shang Tsung says it and it's not true, or am I wrong about that?
I think there's another part where that happens.
I mean, that's kind of nitpicky. It's not a big deal, but I love that he says it. And I think there's one or two other things. All I really wanted, though, after playing some Mortal Kombat with you for the last couple of weeks since we got that machine, is I really needed somebody to do an uppercut and for Shang Tsung to be in the background just cracking up.
Yeah.
I really needed that, and that never happens. Because that game is in love with uppercuts. It thinks it's like the game is so impressed with you whenever you do an uppercut. I think it's the most impressive thing you can possibly do. You're just like, well done, excellent.
Yeah. At least we didn't get Toasty though.
Toasty? Oh yeah. They're probably developing the movie at the same time as the games that did that. Like we were talking about earlier. I'm kind of glad we didn't get. I don't understand Toasty.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I don't get that.
Why is that a Mortal Kombat thing?
And
it feels so self-indulgent on the part of those developers. I need somebody to explain that to me.
It was the sound composer's idea, and he was actually going to say other things. And like when you do like a bunch of combos in a row, that's when that happens. But it happens a lot more in the third game than in the second game.
Well, and in the arcade for the third game, they make Toasty the thing that you hear whenever you put a quarter in. It's obnoxious.
Yeah. And you can just keep going, Toasty.
I didn't know what that meant for the longest time. I heard that in an AVGN video, and I said, what is that? And then we started playing Mortal Kombat, and I was like, oh, that's where that comes from. Okay. It's obnoxious. Oh, so anyway, bad things?
So Raiden is way too happy.
Especially for the way he's introduced.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be so dramatic, and he looks all brutish and stuff.
Yeah, and another of my bad things is this movie is way too unintentionally funny for Mortal Kombat. Because Mortal Kombat is supposed to be like dramatic and like bloody and stuff, and this is just hilarious.
Yeah, but it's also all over the place. I mean the games. I think the absurdity to the games is part of what makes them fun and not too like relentlessly dark, and it doesn't feel mean-spirited even as like insanely rough and violent as it is. Like it's so over the top and just fun, and the movie has that too.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying. Sometimes it does feel like it goes a little bit too far in that direction.
Yeah. Yeah, back to Raiden.
Yeah.
He's probably, like, my least favorite character, just because, one, he doesn't get much to do, and then I figure out why he doesn't get much to do, because his first sign of him being, like, way too happy, he starts going like, sorry.
It feels totally out of character and out of place. That we have spent enough time with him that at the moment he does that, we're like, wait, what? And then periodically after that, it keeps happening, and it never suddenly feels more in character. It feels like he just keeps interrupting the movie with weird bursts of joviality. It's weird.
And then he's like, yeah, sorry. and then at the end, he's just like...
Why is Raiden so insecure?
And then at the end, he starts being like Mario or something. He's like, you know what? I'm really impressed with you guys.
Yeah. What is that line?
Yeah.
And he doesn't wear his hat enough.
Yeah. And I feel like that's like what Raiden does. It's like, I don't know.
That should be... You're saying that should be Raiden's prevailing character trait. He wears a big hat.
Yeah.
Is it like Guinan in TNG? He just wears a big hat?
No, because...
Except she has actual prevailing character traits.
But he is...
We can describe that character.
But his hat is made out of straw.
Oh. Okay. So I feel like you saying that he doesn't have enough characterization because that should be his characterization. Jayson is like a strawman argument. Anyway, so... So, you said he doesn't get enough to do. Yeah, he seems to be just there to be the recruiter. He just brings everybody together, right?
Or, no.
No?
Shang Tsung is the person who brings everybody together.
I thought Raiden did that. No?
I mean, he's not working for Shang Tsung.
Well, that's true, but I thought... well, okay, yeah. I forget what he's doing at the beginning now. He was facilitating something.
He tells them why they're at the...
Oh, is that how he does?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I can't keep up with the plot of this movie.
Back to, it's a lot like the games. I love how they do not just stuff from the first movie.
Or from the first game?
Yeah, from the first game. Like, they bring characters like Princess Katana, and...
Who else?
Like Reptile.
Jax, I don't think was in the first game.
Jax is...
Am I right about that?
Yeah, Jax is in... So, what I loved about Jax was, he was in 3, and he is the yellow robotic character. And, he is referenced as one of the agents working with Sonya Blade.
Oh. But he's not playable?
He is playable in the games.
Oh, okay.
But he's not an agent working with Sonya Blade. In the movie, he is. He's like I think he's like a black guy or something, but I don't know.
Okay.
And then, let's see, favorite characters.
So I may be wrong about what I said earlier. Just from stuff I had read before, it seemed like they had one had come out, and then when they were making the movie, it was maybe developed at the same time. But maybe Mortal Kombat 2 had come out already by the time they started filming. I'm just not sure how the timeline of that works.
Yeah.
Because Mortal Kombat 2 is 93, and the movie comes out in 95. So I'm not sure.
I don't. Yeah.
I mean, obviously they brought in a bunch of stuff from 2, but I thought that there were things in 2 that were inspired by stuff that they were doing. So I don't know if I'm right about that.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I've not
when
looked a great deal into
Mortal
this.
Kombat
I'm just
3 came out.
talking about what I've read in the few minutes of research I've done. But
yeah, because I think Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 came out in 95, but Mortal Kombat 3.
It did. It was late 95.
Yeah, and this was like summer of 95.
Yeah, it was
right?
like a couple months after the movie came out. It was a really big year for that franchise. Of course.
But yeah, favorite characters.
Yeah.
So I like Reptile. At first I was just like, this isn't Reptile, what? And then we get, and then we actually get him as a man, and I'm just like, this suit is awesome. And that's kind of just why I like that character.
Yeah. It's all gonna be superficial. It's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. And then let's see. I like Scorpion, mainly because we get almost everything from the games that people liked in that one scene.
Yeah, and it's really well choreographed, and there's a lot of creativity in the set building, and I love everything about that scene.
Yeah.
Johnny Cage, is it that scene or is it a different one where Johnny Cage drops the signed photo of himself? Which
yeah.
I think came from a fatality. That's real cartoony. It's like, where'd you even have that on your person?
Yeah, because also, Johnny Cage never takes his shirt off. And I'm just like, when are you going to do that?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, he never...
And it's not like he's wearing sunglasses a lot.
Yeah. People, don't really look like the people in the games, and that's not just because, and that's not mainly because the actors don't look
enough like them.
It's mostly just because they don't wear the things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hit or miss. Like, some of them really do. Obviously, Scorpion and Sub-Zero do.
Yeah.
But we only see them when they're fighting, and a lot of characters in the fights, look more like themselves. And I don't remember if Katana is wearing anything like what she wears in the game.
I mean, she doesn't have fans.
What?
She's not a princess in the games, I don't think.
That's a good point with the fans.
But Johnny Cage doesn't wear a shirt. Sonya Blade never wears green. Raiden doesn't have his hat at all that much.
He has it at the beginning, but he's not wearing it constantly. Who's the cyborg guy where half of his face is machine?
Goro.
No, not Goro. Goro's the guy with the arms that I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Goro's the guy with the arms.
No, like right at the beginning we see him.
Yeah.
He's got
He's the person that Sonya Blade is trying to get.
Yeah, he's got the red eye. He's got the almost like cyborg Superman thing going on. He looks like he does in the games.
Yeah, he does.
That guy.
I'm trying to figure out if I'll finally see him.
I'll get it. Anyway. What else?
And then I really like Johnny Cage.
Kano.
Yeah, Kano. That's the one person that I never forget.
You like Johnny Cage's main character thing where he's trying to get people to believe that he actually knows martial arts?
Yeah. And I love how he, at the beginning,
That's where his angst comes from. He's this famous actor that nobody that nobody thinks is credible because they don't think that he knows martial arts and does his own stunts. So he has to go in an interdimensional fighting tournament to prove that he's that he's actually a good fighter. And what's weird about that to me is I'm thinking, but who from Earth gets to see any of this? How's that actually going to prove anything?
Yeah.
Because it's in another dimension, and when he comes back, is it going to be just like, hey guys, I won this this fighting tournament, and I beat this big scary monster with several arms. And people are going to be like, no, that didn't happen.
And then he has to.
You were making a movie. I'm sure that's what it was. You were confusing reality with fiction. You were making a movie.
and then he probably will also beat the guy at the end, the master or whatever.
The Emperor.
The Emperor.
Yeah.
Who actually has a name in the games, but we never get his name in.
He just shows up at the end for sequel fodder.
And people talk about him a little bit, but they don't actually mention his name. They just
Oh, really?
Yeah. They just call him the Emperor.
Good to know. Shao Kahn?
Yeah, Shao Kahn.
Yeah.
But he's not.
Oh, of course that was Frank Welker. No one is surprised by that. What do you think of Goro?
He has a lot of arms. That's about it.
Yeah, what do you think of the special effects for Goro?
It's pretty good.
That stuff is wonderfully charming to me. That was Freddy's favorite part.
That's Goro.
He goes, that's Goro!
When he was 3. I don't have anything else on here, but we can talk about other stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Johnny Cage. So I love how at the beginning, he's like in the car, and then he gets out of the car and he fights all these agents, and then he's just making a movie. And
yeah, that's fun.
But I love it where he punches the person
and he just falls down.
No. He punches the person, and he's like, "This is where you fall down," and he just doesn't fall down, and he just goes, "Eh." And it's really funny. And then at the end,
when you think he's actually in a real fight, you're like, "Why would that guy fall down?" And then when we kind of draw the curtain back, and you see he's making a movie. That's actually kind of clever.
Yeah, and then at the end, when he's fighting Goro, he kicks him, and then he's like, "This is where you fall down," and he falls into a pit.
That's a nice bookend. No, I like that. That's pretty great.
I don't know if it's Goro or if it's someone else, but it was really cool.
It's really entertaining.
I also like...
I mean, it's a thing that... sorry, go ahead.
I also like when he has all the suitcases, and then he goes on the stairs, and then all of them fall down, and Sonya Blade or someone's like, "Do you need help with those?" And then he just doesn't have them.
So do you like Sonya Blade in this? Because I know she's one of your favorite characters to play with anyway.
Yeah. I like other characters better.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's the person who just doesn't really look like the character.
Yeah, and I don't think that actress is great.
Yeah.
Originally, it was supposed to be Cameron Diaz, and then she got hurt in some other project or something and couldn't be in it.
Yeah. But the person who plays Johnny Cage actually kind of looks like Daniel Pazina. A little bit.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. He looks a lot like Daniel Pazina, and it's great. Because you want people who look like, who are kind of lookalikes of the people. Basically, you already had, like, actors for the games. And then, like, the people...
Yeah, that's a really good point.
That's a thing I like about...
Do you think any of those actors felt shafted? Where it was like, well, we're already doing this kind of rotoscoping thing for these games. Why can't we be in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. It looks... I like looking at the pictures of, like, when they are on, like, the green screen and they... actually put them in the games. That's what makes it feel like more real like.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. Do you want to watch the Street Fighter movie at some point?
Sure. And then we can play Street Fighter the movie, the game.
Because it does not. It is not as good as this. Or as much fun as this, if memory serves. I saw it in the theater years ago. Of course. No, it's mid-90s. In fact, so it was made right around the same time. And I think I mentioned earlier, Jean-Claude Van Damme was offered the role for Johnny Cage, but he actually turned it down to be in Street Fighter.
Oh.
So he picked the other fighting game franchise.
That was getting a movie.
Yeah.
That was actually trying to be better than Mortal Kombat. Like, they were, like, side to side trying to fight together. Yeah,
and if memory serves, Street Fighter has a little bit less to do with the actual games and is trying to take itself more seriously and kind of failing at it. But, I mean, I haven't seen it since it came out. So, I was 12. So we'll see what that's like if we go back to it.
Did you play Street Fighter when you were a kid?
Very rarely. Occasionally in an arcade. But yeah, never on home consoles.
Yeah.
But Mortal Kombat I didn't really play either. And that movie I only saw bits and pieces of when I was a kid. I had a friend that was obsessed with it. And I got to see part of it at his birthday party. In like 96, 97.
On like a VHS or whatever?
Well, yes, it would have been a VHS. Yeah. It certainly wasn't a Roku stick. That's for darn sure. Well, Jayson, anything else? I guess the only other thing it possibly could have been was on television. If we were like at his birthday party, just flipping channels looking for Mortal Kombat. But that's the only other way that could have happened.
Were movies actually on television?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Because, like, I know
a lot of channels relied on them pretty heavily for primetime ratings when they didn't have original shows to put on certain nights and stuff. And on the weekends and stuff, especially.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else. You actually got to talk a little bit.
Yeah, I thought of things. Some stuff came. I walked into this thing. I'm not gonna remember anything because I never remember anything that happens in this, and I can never remember the name of the bad guy.
Yeah. Who is he?
Shang Tsung. Yes, nailed it. Finally. Anyway.
And it's really cool and it's really funny. One time when you were trying to figure out his name, you accidentally said Kung Lao, which is Liu Kang's brother.
Yeah, I don't even know where I came up with Kang Lao or Kung Lao.
Kung Lao.
Kung Pao Chicken.
Yeah, it was probably Kung Pao Chicken, and
but,
then you just.
But I actually said
Kung
on accident.
Lao.
I said Kung Lao.
Yeah.
The name of an actual character in the game. Yeah.
Or in the movie.
Right.
But we see him die in a dream sequence. That's the first scene of
See, there's Kano right there.
Yeah, there's Kano.
I mean, it looked like him.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, everybody, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Father and Son, and we will chat about something for you again next week. Well, Jason, thanks for picking this one. Mm-hmm. It was certainly a lot of fun to watch with you. And we'll see you again real soon. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Jayson.
And we were Father
and Son.
See you later, folks.